KCC311, week number 4. For our assignment this week, we need to create some maps. Last time it was tables. Now let's get to a map. The discussion board has you creating one type of map through a web app. Now I'm going to show you how to do it on Google My Maps. And these 4 bullet points, which I'm going to cover, accessing My Maps, KML files, those are new things, a little more technical. Editing tables and grouping regions, that's like last week's assignment. So those should go kind of quickly. Let's get to the your email, and I'll show you how to get to Google My Maps. So the first thing is you're going to get to your Kindle email. Now, my email box is pretty light, but yours should be a little bigger. And what you're going to do is you're going to find this little tic-tac-toe grid up here. Click that, and you'll see all these different options. Unfortunately, there's no My Maps here. There is a Google Maps. That's different. But what we want is you want to click Drive, this little triangle thing. Clicking Google Drive. Now you get some, I have different file folders. Maybe you have some folders from, or files from other classes rather. But we're going to create something brand new. And down here, you could do a doc, Google Sheets. We've used Count If and all those sort of things. But we're going to go down to More, and here we go, Google My Maps. So already, a couple clicks. From the email, you click this grid, you go to your Drive, then you go to New, More, Google My Maps. And here we go. Takes a second, but there we go. Now we have a map. How is this different than Google Maps that you might use when you're trying to find out directions to some place? The difference is we can import information, like the states of the U.S. We can import my regions. We can import data. So remember, the whole course is about big data and being able to see big data. Google My Maps is a big tool for helping us with that. All right, so an untitled map. Guess what? I can name it everything I want. So week number 4, test. A description, sure, go ahead and give me some more feedback on the map. But I'm just going to go with that right now. This is the big thing, the import. We are going to import some files. So I'm going to click Import, and I was talking about KML files. There's a KML file, loosely speaking, it just shows regions on a map. Could be states, could be countries, could be little towns and villages. I have a KML file for the USA. And that is accessible on Blackboard, but I've got it on my computer here, so I'm just going to open that, and it uploads into the Google Maps. It takes a second. You know, there's a lot of different 50 states and lots of information about each of the states, but you'll notice that after importing KML file, now I have regions on all those states. Not bad. The problem is everything's nice and blue, and I want to group them by region. So what I need to do is now I need to tell some more information to Google. I need to say, okay, Montana's in the north, and New Mexico's in the west, and New York's in the northeast, and Missouri's in the Midwest. I need to tell it that. How do I do that now that I've imported a KML? Well, you see here it has a list of all the states. It has a name here. This is just the name of the file that I imported. But these 3 dots, this is our little key right here. Open data table. Now, data table, I'm not going to lie, this is, if you remember last week, we talked about coding charts, reference charts. This data table, that's all it is. So if I'm here talking about Alabama, yes, there's some more information. I could tell you this, the state abbreviation. I could tell you, what else do I got in here? Oh, go a little faster here. I could tell you the A land. I think that's the area of land in each state, and this is the area of the water in each state. Okay, great. Guess what? I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in 2 things, the name of the state and the region. So click this little triangle here, and it says insert a column after. What do I want to name this column? I want to name it the region, because that's what I'm going after. Name and region. So now this is probably the hardest part of the homework. You're going to have to do this 50 times. You're going to have to click a name and click the region. So in this case, Alabama, maybe I'll say that's the south. Alaska, maybe you say that's the north. Arizona, maybe you say that's the south. Arkansas, maybe you say, okay, that's central U.S. You get the idea. You're going to have to go down and click these. Unfortunately, there's no good way to do this. You're going to have to do this for each of the 50 states. Like I said, this is probably the longest part of the whole homework. But you're going to go through that Colorado. Okay, let's call that the mountain states. All right, you get the idea. I'm going to stop after that. I'll let you do the rest. And I close out. But now I have in that, let's say close out. All right, in these 3 dots, in this data table right here, you now have the names of the states, and you now have the region. Basically, you have that coding chart. You have that reference chart from last week. Okay, now, that still hasn't helped my coloring here. How come? Because I just told it the regions. I didn't tell it to color those. So now, what we're going to do up here, where it says individual styles, I'm going to click that, and I say, I want to group the place. Oh yeah, grouping. This is exactly what we're going after. I want to group them by region. And you'll see that region I just added. So I click it right there. And now you'll see the different colors of the states. These two are both red because I think I both put south in there. California is a different color because it's in the west. Colorado is bright purple because it's in a different region, the mountain. Obviously, only a couple are colored because I didn't do so many. But you'll see that I got it started. You got 46 more to go. So what's going to happen? Google Drive, open a brand new My Maps. Once you open that My Maps, you need to import a KML file. And really quickly, I'm just going to replay how to do that. You're going to go to Import, select a file, and then you'll find this KML file. This was linked in Blackboard. Once you have imported the file, then you're going to click these dots, open the data table. You need to insert a column, but once you've inserted the column, then you add in information like a coding chart, like a reference chart. After you have done that, then you go to Style, Group Places by Region, and Google My Maps does the rest, and you could probably set some of the colors here too. So if you say, hey, you know what, I think the mountains should be yellow, you can have fun with that. You can play around with things. Once you have done that, you're going to have your own My Map colored by region, but does no good on the internet if I can't see that. So at the end, you need to share this map. So you'll see here it says share. Unfortunately, you cannot download this for me. You're going to need to share, which is fine. However, look at this. It says private. If you click share, make sure you change this. Make sure you change it so that you can change it so anyone at Kendall College, you can say anybody with a link in case you want to, you work on this at home with your personal email instead of your Kendall email. But the important thing is when you go to share, change this so that it is no longer a private link. And then once you have that shared, then you can just highlight this. You can I gotta go back here. Yeah, this link right here. This is the link that you can copy and email that to me. Or you can invite me directly, william.johnson@kendall.edu. My fingers aren't working here on this one. Okay, so you can type in my email address directly and then send an invite to me. And that way I will be able to access your My Map. So once again, Google My Maps, upload the KML. You need to add the data table. You need to sort by region. And once you do that, you will need to share the map with me because you cannot download and upload to Blackboard. Any questions with this process between the Google My Maps, KML, and all these grouping and so forth, please send an email. And that is going to be the half of your week 4 assignment. Check discussion board for the other map.